Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. We're going to continue on with the milling today. I've got these 4 logs still behind me here. So first one up is going to be the actual base of that oak. So fingers crossed, I'm hoping for good things. I know I've said it before a couple times that, I'm expecting good things out of this bottom log. So we're going to get up on a rack, wash it off, get it on the mill, and start to get to work. All right, guys, here we go. All right, got the first one up on the rack here, washed off. It looks pretty good as far as cleanliness goes. There wasn't much rock in there at all. But let's take a look at this. So I definitely have, some sort of crack, rot issue there, and then some more crack along there. Let's see if we can see that a little bit. Little bit in the heart there, but primarily concerned with this activity there. Let's take a look at the other side to see how it translates through to the other side. So different orientation as far as the crack goes. It's 11 to 5. Got a hole here. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when we get into it. We shall see. So log itself, really straight. Nothing that's really going to stop me from making the largest cant out of this that I can. I'd like to go to 18 inches on one side of it so that I get the 3 blocks like I tried to yesterday. Now that I know I have to cut it at 6 inches. So hopefully, yeah, 16 by 12 would be the absolute minimum, out of this. If I can get, 18 by 18. If I could do that, that would be great. That would be quite the win for this log. So let's get it over. My issue right now, of course, there's always an issue, is that I had to kind of muscle it over a little bit. Right now it's angled to go to the right, but when I initially pushed it up, you can see how close this one is here to this one over here. So I do have it angled a little bit, so when I roll it, it's going to roll in that direction. I should know fairly quick whether or not that's going to be slanted enough. But the hard part is really over. Getting it up onto here is the most physically taxing part of it. And then lining it up with my log stops there in the back, that's the next, challenge. So, well, it's not going to move itself. Let's get it. That's definitely not angled enough. I don't want to push it too far that way. If I push it too far that way and it starts to roll, I've got no way to stop it. So part of the issue now as well is this end here, this is the wider end, so I mean this end turns less than the other side, so as I'm rotating it. So I have to make up for that. Okay, that could have gone better. So here's what we're looking at. I am, yeah, a good 6 inches left of where I wanted to be. And my little supports here, my little bridge came apart. That's not unusual, but yeah, so not quite there on this side. And yeah, quite a bit of room on this side. So it's got to go back. It's got to go back across. Got to slant it, cant it a little further. And yeah, well, trial and error. Let's get it. All right, it's back across. I angled it a little more. It seems, based on, you know, kind of eyeball, it seems like it should be okay from this point. So let's see what we got. That looks like a bingo. Perfect, perfect. Okay, right now the log is resting on these 4x4s. It wants to roll back here, so I need to put a shim underneath some of the bunks just to stop it from rolling. Well, that small shim's not going to work. Or I could rotate it. Let me just show you the problem I just came across. It's a fairly easy fix, but it's something I hadn't thought of that might be an issue. So if you're looking down this line of the log, my frame down there at the back can't make it past this arc in this log. Now this log, I just put a tape measure to, is 27 inches across from here to here, okay? But it is stopped against my log stop here in the back, so I can't gain any, you know, advantage there as far as pushing it to the right as we're looking at it. But it isn't centered on the bunk, so I'm going to drop this log stop here just to rotate it more, to center it up more in the mill, because as you can see from this side, if you look down further towards the mill itself, I have plenty of room down there. So, and I'm only doing this, my primary concern is simply just so the carriage can clear this end point right here. So let's do that. There, just that little movement cleared up the other side. I think we're looking almost perfect right now. Here's how we ended up now. Plenty of room along this rail here, this silver part, to get that carriage down past that. Now, the head itself, the cutting head, is going to be much higher, but again, it was the actual frame of the carriage that was going to be an issue. So plenty of room on this side and plenty of room on this side. So I think we're good to go. So let's fire it up and let's see what happens. Now that I got my first slab cut off, I just wanted to show you here. This is really what I was hoping for the entire tree, of course, but it is absolutely beautiful. Not a single imperfection on it. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I say that now knowing I'm going to have problems inside it, but it's nice to get excited a little bit. Now, so one of the things about this, it is quite, you know, it is definitely towards the limit of the mill. I made this first cut. That red line you see across there, that is 23 inches. That's 23 inches from the bunk to where the blade cuts at. That is just about as high of a cut I could have made. So when I brought the carriage back, I didn't even move the blade because I can't go up any higher. The cable itself is being stressed and everything. It's just not that great. So I probably could have bumped it maybe a 16th or something, but I brought it back the same level as the cut. So it just rubbed along the top of the board. Nothing really, you know, nothing happened to it, but it's just one of those things that, you know, obviously I could have cut it lower, say like at 22 or something like that, but I was already taking off, you know, kind of what I wanted. So you can see I can definitely have, at least here within the heartwood, you know, that's a good size board right there. I can already make just about 2 boards out of this. So I'm going to take another 1-inch slab off of this, and that's going to be the start of one of the boards. And then we'll look into rotating this and, you know, getting into it more. Well, it wasn't without struggle, that's for sure, but we got this thing turned and squared up. So right now it's 18 by 18. So I do have some wane here on both sides a little bit, but you know, I'm okay with that. The bottom side, there is a little bit there along the bottom, not much so. I think I did a fairly good job of squaring this thing up to the point where you know, I can block this out now in 6-inch cubes, basically. So the interesting thing is going to be is turning it once I make a cut, because that, so when if I cut down 6 inches now, this is going to be 6 inches by 18 across. That is not going to be light. So I got some things to figure out, but that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Yeah, we'll see what we can come up with. Well, guys, fairly easy solution here to this. So I'm not, you know, trying to move 6-inch thick cants with it. Because it's 18 inches across now, I can literally just start lopping off 1-inch boards off of this. That, I mean, that's common sense. I don't know why I was overthinking that, but so I'll probably do that until I get down to about 6 inches thick, and then I'll rotate that up and then start lopping boards off of that way there. So let's get into it. All right, guys, we're about to get going here. I realize there doesn't seem like any time has elapsed since I was recording here. I had to run out. Some friends pulled up. I had to help them, so I had to run out for a little bit. So we're now early afternoon, and I'm going to start continuing on with this oak that's sitting out here. So I've just loaded up, looks like I got 5 of these pieces of lumber up here that I'm going to cut. These are 18 inches high as we're looking at them through here. So I should get 3 boards out of this. So, I mean, 15 boards should come out of this. So, but the middle section on some of the ones on the inside may not be usable. There's a little bit of a rot kind of through the middle section. I'm certainly going to cut them and we'll let them dry. But this should... you know, most of this should be good and usable wood. This is all mainly from the heart. And yeah, well, we'll see how it turns out. Well, that last pass right there, that was 12-inch wide boards, so a split right down the middle at 6 inches. That just gave me 24 boards right there at that one cut. So pretty excited. There are some in here that, you know, we're certainly going to let dry. There's certainly nothing as bad as yesterday. So yeah, we're going to get these cleaned up, put on a rack over there, and then we'll show you. There's actually too much material here to kind of stack it up here, and so I'm trying to take care of it, you know, as I make the material. So we'll get this cleaned up. I've got these last couple boards here. I didn't throw them on there with those 18-inch wide ones because it's all live edge here on the ends, and there's really no flat spot. I couldn't really get a square cut on them, so I'm going to deal with these last. And there's only 6 of those, so I'll probably get 2 boards out of each one of those at least. So, yeah. So let me get going on these, and we'll be back. Well, just about cleaned up from this first log. Again, I had to run out and take care of some stuff, grab some more gas and other things. So all I have left now is the slab cuts here. Again, I'll chop those up. I'll probably throw those on the fire pile for inside. I've got this last board here. I don't know what I'm going to do with. I could probably just cut that and burn it. It's actually not too bad, but yeah, I don't know. But the mill is empty right now. Let's go over and take a look and see what kind of volume we got out of today. So the good news is the only stuff that ended up on the fire pile was all scrap. Just kind of the bark and just some of the other offcuts that I had for it. It was really an amazingly better log than yesterday. Of course, just as I come over here, the sun comes out and makes it difficult for me to film. So there's the stack. There's the stack. And by my count, I just took a quick hit before I picked up the camera. 69 1x6s we got today. 69. So actually, if I cut that log or that slab that's on the rack over there, that would make it even 70. So fantastic. Now, I'm not saying that each one of these is going to be used. I do have some that aren't really great, like this one here. Probably not going to be used. I'm gonna let it dry out and, you know, kind of see what happens with it, but probably gonna be on the scrap pile. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, by this time yesterday, I already had 4 or 5 boards on the, you know, the trash heap, and I still had some like this in the pile. So absolutely a much better board. And just to give you an idea, so this small, this 4x, not 4x4, but that 1x4 that's right there, that was the last piece of wood I put on there yesterday. So I had one 2x6, or one 1x6, one 1x6, and then everything above that was from today. So yeah, great amount of volume. Super happy with it. We'll definitely be able to use the vast majority of the wood that came off the mill today, for sure. So it is kind of later in the afternoon. Some of the day got away from me with helping some folks out and having to go out and get gas and stuff. So this is what my plan of attack is going to be for the rest of the afternoon. I'm going to buck that up, make that into smaller pieces I can use inside my wood stove. And then I'm probably going to move this one up on the rack, wash it off, and just kind of prep it for tomorrow. So we'll see how long all that takes, and then we'll go from there. Maybe I'll even just set it up on the mill, because that's usually a difficult process. So let me get on it and see what happens. Well, now that it's up on the rack here, it looks like the battle has just really begun. So obviously I've got definitely some rot that goes up through the log. I've got this pretty good sized little hump that's on here. That's definitely going to impact, you know, as you kind of visualize this rolling and moving forward, it's going to hit somewhere up in here and absolutely screw up my rolling onto the mill in any sort of, I don't know, accurate manner. I might just have to muscle it around a little bit. Let's take a look at this other end. So I don't know what we'll get out of it. I guarantee you we'll get some decent stuff, but the whole log will not be able to be used. I guarantee you that. But that's been kind of the story of just about every oak I've had on the mill. I don't know if that's true around the world, but I'm sure that we'll be able to get something out of it. So actually thinking of taking my chainsaw and just kind of knocking that lump off a little bit. I don't know if that'll be worth it. All right, well, we'll see. Let's work on it. Well, I just broke out the big chainsaw and took a couple whacks at it here. Made an absolute mess. I've got chips all over the place over there by the mill and everything. It was something else, but definitely improved the situation. And yeah, that's definitely going to help getting it on there. So let's give it a try. Well, there's nothing like a little afternoon excitement here. So what happened, I mean, obviously you saw it almost roll off the back. I'm too far back. So you see I've got that 6 inches or so right here on this side of the log stop. And then here, I barely grazed it as I came across, and the front of this log just kept on coming. And if it had come off this side, I mean, I don't know what I would have done. I don't know. But, well, I would have wrestled it out of here. That's what would have happened. But, so, anyway, I've got to reposition it a little bit. I want to bring it up here towards the saw head, maybe 3 or 4 inches or so. So I've got to make that happen. And then I think I'm going to clean up. That bit of excitement there was probably a sign that's saying you need to wrap it up for the day. I'm getting tired. And, yeah. That's kind of how that goes. So let me try to recenter this a little bit. We'll go from there. Show you how, I don't think I've shown you how I kind of adjust this kind of forward and backwards here on the mill, especially with something, you know, this large. So what I do, I put my toe board. I move my toe board up to whatever side I want to move it. I just kind of lift it up. Let's see, probably, I don't know if we'll be able to see the gap that's there. So there's just a slight gap. So really now, all I do, I take my rock bar on the back of this log and just kind of nudge it forward. Now, if you look at this log stop over there, I really only have to bring it up like 2 or 3 inches. So, of course, most of the weight is on the toe board right now, so it's going to flex. It's going to be pushed forward. The top of it here is going to come this way, just fractionally. You know, the log may slide on it, but usually the toe board just ends up being kind of just angled a little bit. So I just need it up just that little bit of hair there, just so it's not, you know, I'm not pushing the bark into something. It makes it a little easier. So we'll give it a shove and see what happens. It looks like we got some good movement out of it. Let's go take a look. Yep, just beyond that log stop there. Yeah, yeah, my toe board's a little angled. It may have actually slid on there a little bit. That's great. So I could come up another inch or so. I might give that a little nudge and see what happens. Well, I got this other log up here on the mill, and so I turned it over here into a can. That's an 18 by 18 right now, and there's a bit of weight on it and stuff like that, so I certainly won't be able to use every board that comes off this, but the story gets worse. So my last slab I took off the top revealed this. I mean, this is it's just terrible. It is just absolutely terrible. So I don't know. I'm going to get into this tomorrow. Probably not going to film too much of it. It'll probably just be me cursing a lot, so I'm not going to subject you guys to that. But I'll keep you guys close here in case something happens or whatnot. But I mean, that really, I wasn't even expecting that to be on this side really of the log itself. Just looking at the the big cut on this, I can't imagine what it's going to be like when I get inside. So yeah, well, that's where I'll start tomorrow. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Got this beast here behind me. Like I said, I'm going to work on that tomorrow. Probably not going to film much of it. And yeah, we'll just go on from there. But good bit of volume today out of that log. Was real happy with that. But I think it's pretty obvious looking at the other logs that I have on the driveway waiting to come up on the mill, and what the state of this one here that's on the mill right now looks like. I'm going to have to be dropping some more trees. So we'll try a smaller, younger one and see if that, does not really improve our situation. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But hey, listen, guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out, coming with me on this insanity. So yeah, that's a wrap. We'll see you on the next one.